Okay, we are going to get started. Again, I'm Stephanie Danielson, the Director of Planning and Economic Development. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for wanting to and agreeing to be part of this very important endeavor, which is an update to the master plan. This is a 10-year update. A lot of communities will adopt a master plan. Many of them, like Easton, will use that plan on a regular basis and refer to it for policy decisions and deciding how to make investments in the town, whether it's in infrastructure or different policies and direction. Easton has done that very successfully with the master plan over the past 10 years. But in that period of time, while everything the master plan covered 10 years ago has not changed, there have been some significant changes in the time that the master plan had been adopted, not the least of which is housing, climate resiliency, and climate change is showing its effects on the community, and the population in Easton is changing. And in many ways, that's very good for the town. I'm going to try to keep this to an hour tonight, and we do have a lot of things to cover, and that's because I have a finance committee meeting right after this that I need to get to talk about zoning changes that are going to be proposed at town meeting. So did everyone have a chance to go through the charter and the role of, oh, before we do that, could we just go around and introduce ourselves to each other? Because I don't know that everybody knows who everyone else is. And I'll just call your first name, and if you could just introduce yourself and just briefly tell us something about yourself. Michael?
Hello, everyone. I'm Michael Mulcahy. I've been an Easton resident for, I think we're going on 4 years now. We moved here from New York. We have 2 kids in the Easton public school system. I learned more about town government by participating in the Citizens Academy, and this opportunity came up to be a part of a master plan update, and jumped at it and was thankfully selected. Thank you.
Sarah, I'm sorry, Sahara.
Good evening, everybody. I think I've been saying good afternoon and good morning on Zoom all day today. My name is Sahara Defensor. My family and I have moved to Easton about 2 years ago. My husband actually grew up here in Easton. I am an attorney. I do regulatory policy. My focus has been on public policy, doing some grassroots initiatives in the federal level, but also on the state level. Happy to be here with everybody.
Okay, Ernie, you're on the phone, and just speak a little loud because you were a little muffled.
Good afternoon to everyone. I belong to the Age-Friendly Association for the past 2 years. My family and I have lived in Easton for over 50 years, and our 2 kids attend the local schools, of course. And I was asked to join this committee here today, and I will do my very best to participate and supply what I can in a positive manner.
Beth?
Hi, everybody. Beth Devonshire. I'm the chair of the Human Rights Committee, which has a person who sits on this, so that's me. I've lived in Easton for about 14 years. I also went to Stonehill. So I took a little bit of a break and then came back. By trade, I'm an attorney and I work at Wentworth. So happy to be here, happy to help.
Thank you. Oh, we have Kelly. Stephen, if you could.
Good evening, all. My name is Steve Drown, and my wife and I have lived in Easton for about 35 years. We had 2 sons who went to school in Easton and moved on to bigger and better things. Both my wife and I are retired, and I'm a member of the Environmental Stewardship Committee.
and I'm their representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Melissa?
Hi, I'm Melissa. I lived in Easton for over 9 years now. My son graduated from Oliver Ames in 2018. Big supporter of the Oliver Ames Arts, the theater department. He worked in the background, picking things up, putting things down. And I am an insurance producer for health insurance. I've been a member of our homeowners association, vice president, board member, president for a time. And I represent basically my small group of neighbors and hopefully more of Easton, because I just love this town. I love the history, everything.
All right. Thank you. Kelly, we are just introductions. If you would mind introducing yourself and just tell a little bit about who you are.
Sure, I'm Kelly Percio. I'm part of the school committee. I am also the mom of 4 kids here in town with lots of ages and stages of life. So been living in Easton for over 15 years now.
Chris?
Sure, my name is Chris Lopes. I've been in Easton for about 16 years. Now my wife and I, we raised our children here. It's a great town. Prior to Easton, I was involved in Rhode Island, very active in the Providence community as well. So I have been, it's been a privilege. I sit on the Economic Development Committee as well and help and represent them on this committee.
Okay. Chris, can you turn on your video? All right, great. And just as you did that, Kelly turned off hers. That's okay. So again, very quickly, I'm going to go through, I forgot to go through the remote meeting procedures. This meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by board committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count toward quorum. We basically just went through a quorum. The meeting, or confirmation of quorum. The meeting may be broadcast live and will be recorded on ECAT. To use Zoom, you'll need to use the link on the agenda or download the Zoom application. I don't see that we have any members of the public, but if anyone does join us, the board will be primarily focusing on how the group is going to operate, setting a schedule, and then we will contemplate going into executive session to discuss the RFPs we received in response to the request for proposals. Okay. So let's see, did I just do the agenda? Charter and role of the committee. Are there any questions from the board members regarding the charter and what the committee is charged with doing? All right. Kelly, I explained to the group before you joined us that I'm going to try to keep this meeting to an hour. I have to go to a finance committee meeting tonight to talk about articles, so we will try to cover everything. The next item on the agenda is officer votes, and this is to vote for a chair or co-chair and possibly a secretary for the committee. I did hear independently from both Joanne Zigmund, who isn't able to be here tonight, and I think that Nikki Dustumian also was not going to be able to be here tonight, but both of them expressed an interest in chairing as co-chairs if anyone, unless anyone else on the committee would like to volunteer or nominate someone else for that role. So hearing no opposition, does someone want to make a motion to appoint Joanne Zigmund and Nikki Dustumian as co-chairs?
Stephanie Sahara here. I have a question. Could you explain who each of them are, or like.
Oh, yes, that would be very helpful, wouldn't it? Seeing as they're not here to do that. Nikki Dostumian has been the chair of the Affordable Housing Trust. Gosh, for over 10 years, I think over 13 years. And she is the representative for the Affordable Housing Trust to the committee. And Joanne Zygmunt is she is a member of the Planning and Zoning Board and has been a member for probably 2 years now.
So Stephanie, can I ask a quick question? So what, I mean, it's a simple question, but what is going to be their role as far as chair and vice chair? What are they going to be directed to do?
So they will essentially be leading the meetings going forward and leading the master plan update committee. They'll be who, during the periods of time when the committee's not meeting, I will be primarily interfacing with, communicating with, talking about updates as they become available, talking about when we need to get the committee together. If there are presentations to be made, and there will be, to the planning board and to other boards and towns, they will be the primary face or spokesperson for the committee.
So quick question for you, Stephanie, seeing that they're not here today, and I don't know if anybody else knows who they are, is it fair to just set up a session where we can at least have a conversation with them so we understand who we're voting for?
Yes, we can table this till the next meeting.
Okay.
And I think that's fair. Okay. Do we want to talk tonight about the ongoing meeting schedule? I think at least as we get started, we will need to meet on a monthly basis. There may be times when the committee needs to meet in between those monthly sessions, or kind of meet in a kind of separate form, maybe as a working session to go through information that's been received and digest that, provide feedback back to the consultants. And my primary question tonight would be what night works best for people. And have people just throw that out. I know they're the representative board members, you have commitments, and I'm sure other folks do as well.
I cannot do Thursdays because of school committee.
Stephanie, Wednesday works fine for me. And
I'm sorry, did you say Wednesdays, Chris?
Wednesdays, yes, what we have today works fine.
Yep.
I
Okay.
second, sorry, this is Sahara. I second Wednesdays, and a vote against Thursdays as well.
This is Steve, and my committee meets on the third Tuesday. So any other day is fine with me.
So it sounds like Wednesday would be a reasonable day.
Stephanie, this is Michael. Could I ask you a quick question about that? About
Yes.
attendance? Is it possible for virtual attendance on occasion for these meetings, or is it necessary to be in person?
So we have that is an excellent question. Because I think the question is, does the committee want to meet in person? Do you want to meet in person sometimes, do Zoom sometimes? And to answer your question, Michael, it can be attended remotely. If we have our meetings on a night that the select board isn't meeting and some other committee isn't meeting in the Colleen Corona room downstairs at the town offices, because that is equipped for hybrid meetings. And I think, I'm pretty positive that the Simmons Lecture Hall at the high school also supports remote meetings, hybrid meetings.
The first floor conference room, because we had to go there the other day, that also does hybrid meetings.
How did that work for you? We haven't had success.
It wasn't great. I had to use my phone to somehow
Yeah,
connected, but it worked. It's
so
much
I think the short answer, Michael, is we definitely can do hybrid meetings. There's a way to do that. And we will certainly try to accommodate people.
Excellent. I think I'm with the majority when Wednesdays are probably the most preferable for me. I just travel on occasion, so there may be a meeting or two where I would have to join virtually.
Okay, and let's see. I do see a hand raised.
Yeah, this
That
is
was you. Okay.
this is Steve.
Yeah.
I just throw out to the group. Our committee meets via Zoom most times, but twice a year we meet in person. I'll just throw that out for a discussion.
And there will be times, you know, a big part of this process is going to be public outreach. It's going to be holding probably a couple of forums where it's really designed to get to share information about the process and sharing information about the town, trends that are developing, issues, and getting feedback from the public. And there will be times when that's fine, doing it remotely or through other vehicles. But there are really times when it really matters to put a face to those meetings. So, but that will all be worked out once we have contracted with the consultant that's going to work with us. Okay. Did everyone have a chance? So if sounds like Wednesdays are a good day. Part of what we're going to talk about tonight, I hope we get through this, is having at least one, if not more, consultant of the respondents in for interviews so that we can actually do that. We could talk about doing that either via Zoom or doing that in person. And after we go through that process, we can kind of decide what might be a good day to do that or a good time frame to try to get those scheduled. So did everyone have a chance to look at the proposals and go through the matrix and rate them? Is there a better question? Is there anyone who didn't have a chance?
I did not.
Is that Kelly?
Yes, this is Kelly.
Yes, which you had indicated that to me. Do you mind if we go through and discuss what people's findings were, and then we can, because I have some thoughts, but I want to see what other people have and see if that's kind of, if I'm in line with what others' thoughts are.
Yeah.
So,
I was able to go through but not rate them.
okay, was that Beth?
Yeah.
Do you have a sense of how you might have rated them if we?
Yeah, because then it was hard because I was it took me a little bit to find the rating sheet.
Yeah.
That was why, but I think, and then I tried to print it and it wouldn't print. But I had a decent sense, I think, of the folks.
So does someone want to start? Maybe we could go through each of the categories for rating and talk about each of the responders.
Hey, Stephanie, this is Michael. I had a really quick question about the matrix.
Yes.
So I completed the matrix and I do have sort of the 4 proposals rated. I did have a question about the final category. I think it was the section 3 housing or the MWBE rating. I think it was the
Oh, that is, yes, that is the state certified minority women-owned business.
Yeah. I couldn't find anywhere on any of the proposals.
I don't think any of them were,
Okay.
because they would have indicated that. That's pretty standard. You
Okay.
don't even generally have to ask for it because they know that especially on a municipal contract where you have to follow state procurement law, and the state really is trying to support giving business to minority and women-owned businesses, they'll put it on there. And I'm familiar with at least 2 of the firms. And I know that Tana Babbitt, who is going to, we expect, be representing the Recreation Commission on this committee, and also couldn't make it tonight. But she went through and indicated which ones didn't. So I don't think any of them really met that. And that's a qualification you have to apply for and demonstrate that you are truly a business that's owned by a minority or a woman.
Stephanie, this is Sahara. I just had a question or a clarification. You had indicated that we would go into an executive session to discuss the.
Oh, shoot.
So I was just wondering if that's this, do we need to vote?
We need to do that. Thank you so much for that reminder. You can tell, I'm not usually chairing the meetings. I'm the one sitting there, trying very hard to be quiet while the chair does a wonderful job of managing the meetings. So we do need to take a vote to go into executive session. And thank you for jumping in just in time on that. So do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purposes of reviewing and discussing the proposals that were received in response to the RFP?
I just have a question. Are we all done with non-executive session meeting?
So I will add to that motion not to return to, do we want to do, because we could go into executive session not to return to open session, which just makes it cleaner and easier for the board, but we'll need to discuss the timeframes for scheduling interviews. Or I could just send out an email tomorrow.
I think email might be easier because we have folks who aren't here.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so I will amend my motion to go into executive session for the purpose of reviewing the responses to the request for proposals for a master plan consultant to work with the committee, and not to return to open session.
Second, Devonshire.
All in favor? Michael?
In favor.
In
Sahara?
favor.
Aye.
I heard Ernie in favor. Melissa?
In favor.
Kelly?
In favor?
And Chris?
In favor.
Okay, everybody has the link to the executive session. I emailed that just a short while before the meeting. Okay, we'll see you in a minute.
Thanks.